Hey everyone, welcome back to KK's Lifestyle. I am back with a video on dropshipping versus traditional e-commerce. So you want to start an online business. If you're considering starting an online business, you have probably come across the terms dropshipping and traditional e-commerce and seen the YouTube ads, start dropshipping with zero inventory. Or maybe you've been inspired by success stories of people building seven-figure brands. But now you're stuck with these crucial questions. What exactly do they mean? And more importantly, should you start with dropshipping or go all in with traditional e-commerce? In this video, we'll break down the key differences, pros and cons, startup costs, risks, and long-term potential. So by the end, you'll know exactly which path fits your goals and budget. Let's dive in. So let's start by defining both business models. Dropshipping is a fulfillment method where you don't hold any inventory. You partner with a third-party supplier, usually through platforms like AliExpress, ZeneDrop, or CJ Dropshipping. When a customer buys from your store, the supplier ships the product directly to them. You don't touch the product at all. In contrast, traditional e-commerce involves buying products in bulk, storing them in a warehouse or at home, and fulfilling orders yourself, or using a logistics partner like Amazon FBA or a 3PL third-party logistics service. Both models have their own strengths and weaknesses, so let's start breaking those down. With dropshipping, the appeal is clear. You don't need to buy inventory upfront. Startup costs are super low. Typically, Shopify plan costs $39 per month, domain is $10 to $15, a few $100s for ads, optional apps, and email tools. And that's it. You could launch a store for under $500. But traditional e-commerce requires more skin in the game. Buying inventory costs $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Additional pay for packaging, branding, storage, fulfillment tools, or warehouse rental, and there is a risk of unsold stock. So if you're bootstrapping or testing a new idea, dropshipping gives you a low-cost, low-risk entry point. One of the biggest limitations of the dropshipping model is control, or lack of it, over the core aspects of your business, specifically the product quality, shipping process, and overall customer experience. Since you don't physically handle the products, you're relying entirely on third-party suppliers to fulfill your orders. This means you can't verify the quality before it reaches the customer, and you have no control over how it's packaged or how fast it ships. Everything depends on your supplier. If they make a mistake, it reflects poorly on your brand. Even though you had no direct involvement, many dropshippers rely on suppliers in China, which means 2 to 4 weeks delivery or longer. That can lead to refund requests, chargebacks, and poor reviews. Inconsistent supplier performance can result in long shipping times, damaged products, or even incorrect items being delivered. These issues directly affect customer satisfaction, often leading to increased complaints, refund requests, and chargebacks. Because you're not managing fulfillment directly, resolving these disputes can be complicated and time-consuming. Ultimately, while dropshipping can be convenient, the trade-off is a much weaker grip on the customer experience, which can hurt your brand in the long run. With traditional e-commerce, you have full control over your inventory, packaging, and delivery methods. You can inspect products yourself. You choose your manufacturer and high-quality materials. And you also ensure that every item leaving your warehouse or fulfillment center meets your standards. This gives you the opportunity to create a consistent and premium customer experience from the product itself to the unboxing experience. You can also add personalized touches like branded packaging, thank you notes, or promotional inserts to make a strong impression. This means you can create a memorable unboxing experience and respond quickly to customer issues. And because you're handling or directly managing logistics, you can choose reliable carriers, offer faster shipping options, and ensure smoother order fulfillment. This level of control not only boosts customer satisfaction, but also helps build trust and loyalty over time. When customers know what to expect and consistently have positive experiences, they're far more likely to trust your brand, become repeat buyers, and recommend your store to others. In short, Traditional e-commerce is much better suited for building long-term customer relationships and brand reputation. It gives you the tools to fully shape how your brand is perceived, something that's difficult to achieve with dropshipping. Let's talk about profit margins. Because revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. When it comes to profit margins, dropshipping typically offers much smaller returns per sale. Most dropshippers operate with lower profit margins, ranging from 10% to 30%. And in many cases, it can be even lower after accounting for advertising costs, payment processing fees, and app subscriptions. Because you're purchasing products one at a time, often through suppliers on platforms like AliExpress or third-party sourcing agents, you end up paying more per unit than you would with bulk orders. There are no wholesale discounts in most cases, and you're charged close to retail prices even as a business owner. For example, you might pay $20 for a product and sell it for $30. That leaves you with maybe $10 before ads, apps, and fees. To compensate for the low margins, dropshipping businesses rely heavily on paid advertising, especially through platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. This creates what's often called ad dependency. If your ads stop performing or become too expensive, your entire business could become unprofitable overnight. There's also minimal room for error. A sudden spike in ad costs or refund requests can wipe out your profits quickly. Because of these thin margins and high marketing reliance, dropshipping is often seen as a good model for quick product testing or short-term cash flow, but not ideal for long-term profit stability. On the other hand, traditional e-commerce allows for much higher profit margins, often in the range of 40% to 60% or more, depending on the product and niche. This is primarily due to the power of bulk purchasing. For example, that same $20 product might cost you only $8 in bulk, giving you more than double the profit margin. When you buy products in large quantities directly from manufacturers or wholesalers, you gain access to significant discounts. Your cost per unit drops, which gives you a much wider gap between what you pay and what you sell for. This is your margin, even after accounting for storage fees, fulfillment costs, packaging, and marketing. Traditional e-commerce usually leaves more room for profit on each sale. This financial breathing room gives you more flexibility in running promotions, covering returns, reinvesting in inventory, and scaling operations. You also gain the ability to build more sustainable revenue over time, especially when combined with strategies like email marketing, customer retention, and bundling offers that increase average order value. Additionally, because you own the product, you can optimize costs at multiple levels, from custom packaging to improved shipping rates and even direct factory relationships. All of this contributes to a more efficient, profitable business, especially as you scale. In today's crowded and competitive e-commerce space, branding is no longer optional. It's essential. Your brand is what sets you apart from thousands of similar-looking stores and gives customers a reason to choose you over someone else. It's the emotional connection, the experience, and the identity behind your product. And this is where the gap between dropshipping and traditional e-commerce becomes very clear. With dropshipping, it's much harder to build a memorable brand. Most dropshipping stores rely on generic, mass-produced products that are sold by hundreds, sometimes thousands, of other stores using the exact same suppliers. There's often no unique packaging, no custom labeling, and no control over the customer's first impression when they receive the product. Shipping times can be long, and packages often arrive in plain plastic bags with Chinese characters or third-party branding, which can feel impersonal or even untrustworthy to customers. Because the shopping experience isn't memorable or consistent, building brand loyalty becomes extremely difficult. Customers may buy once and never return, especially if the product takes weeks to arrive or doesn't meet expectations. And since you don't own the product or packaging, it's nearly impossible to make your store feel like a true brand, rather than just a reseller of random goods. Traditional e-commerce, on the other hand, gives you full control over how your brand looks, feels, and communicates with customers. You can build a brand identity from the ground up, starting with a custom logo, branded packaging, and cohesive product presentation. You can work with designers to create a professional look, invest in high-quality product photography, and craft a brand story that resonates with your target audience. You also have the ability to include unique touches like thank you cards, QR codes linking to social media, product guides, or loyalty discounts, all of which add value and reinforce your brand personality. These small details build trust and make your business feel more legitimate and personal, which increases the chances of repeat purchases. As your brand grows, you can leverage influencer marketing, social proof, and PR campaigns to gain visibility and authority. Influencers are more likely to promote custom-branded products than generic drop-shipped items, and media outlets or blogs are more inclined to feature brands with a story, mission, or purpose behind them. Perhaps most importantly, strong branding increases the long-term value of your business. A well-branded traditional e-commerce store with a loyal customer base, clear identity, and solid revenue is something that investors and buyers find attractive. It becomes an asset, not just a hustle. It can be sold, scaled, or turned into a full lifestyle business with real staying power. In terms of long-term business value, drop-shipping businesses are harder to sell because they often lack brand value, customer loyalty, and unique products, while traditional e-commerce businesses with strong branding and customer bases can be worth 5 to 7 figures when sold, especially if they have repeat customers and proprietary products. So if you're thinking long-term wealth and exit strategies, traditional e-commerce builds more value. But of course, an important part is your commitment and effort. How much time are you willing to put in to be successful? Dropshipping can be more hands-off, especially when automated. You'll focus mostly on marketing and customer service. On the other hand, traditional e-commerce demands more of your time, especially while handling suppliers, inventory, fulfillment, and returns. But it also gives you more business control and potentially higher returns. Your choice depends on how much time and effort you want to invest, because after all, success is dependent on effort. So on to the big question. Which one should you choose? Both models work, so you should choose based on budget, business goals, time commitment, long-term vision. Choose dropshipping if you're on a tight budget. You want to test products fast but prefer low upfront risk score. Choose traditional if you want to build a long-term brand, have capital to invest, and are ready to scale with strong foundations. Here's a quick comparison table. So which one should you choose? If you're new, have little capital, and want to test ideas quickly, go with dropshipping. If you're serious about building a lasting, profitable brand, go traditional e-commerce. Or you can even start with dropshipping and transition into traditional e-commerce once you validate your niche. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Catch you on the next video.